Yo, what's up? Today I'm talking about the 3 ways men humiliate themselves with modern women. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right, man. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right, 3 ways men humiliate themselves with modern women. And I'm just going to get straight into this, man. And you guys need to pay attention to this one because so many men fall into this trap and they're not aware of these 3 things. All right, number one, oof, this is the number one thing, man. This is the number one thing. When she doesn't really want to kiss you. Yeah, right. Even the Silver Bachelor, as good looking as I am, just joking, man, but not joking. As good looking as I am and as in good shape as I am, I still come across this. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, man. And look, I created this YouTube channel to share my experiences. And I've been married for 20 years, have been married for 20 years, now single for 2 years. And shit, man, it is wild out there. And this channel, I'm sharing my successes, my failures, my lessons that I've learned, and all that for you so you can be the best version of yourself. And hey, man, I'm still learning. Still check us out. This happened to me twice in the last couple months. All right, first story. This was date number 2. So date number 1, we went out for some drinks and some food, whatever. Date number 2 was New Year's Eve, but I wasn't expecting it. I had no plans on New Year's Eve. In fact, I bought myself a steak and some wine. I live in Atlanta right now. I'm originally from Canada. So the reason why I didn't go out is because the prices of everything on New Year's Eve was exorbitant. The traffic was fucking crazy. And I didn't have a date lined up. And this girl, date number 2, when I had my first date with her, it was earlier in the week. So New Year's Eve was anyways, can't remember what day it was on, but it doesn't matter. So the first date was like a few days prior, and I didn't want to like insert myself into her New Year's plans, and I just met her, right? Fine. So what happened is I assumed she had plans, and I asked her, hey, so what are you up to? And she had plans with her friends. Well, she assumed I had plans with my friends. So long story short, I ended up going to bed at like 11 because I was bored. So I fall asleep. I wake up at like 1:30 in the morning and I see a text from her. She says, hey, Happy New Year. And this was like at midnight or like 12:01 p.m. or a.m. And I'm like, shit, she's probably thinking, damn it, he's ignored me. So when I woke up at 1:30, I hit her up and I said, oh, hey, I fell asleep. And she's like, well, what are you up to now? And I said, oh, I just woke up. She's like, well, I'm actually in your area. And I'm like, okay. She said, do you want to get together for a drink? And I said, well, a lot of places it's going to be really hard for us to get into at 1:30 in the morning or 2. And most places are probably going to close. So she goes, okay, well, would you like me to come over? I'm like, okay, fantastic. So I'm like, I know you're close, but can you give me 15, 20 minutes? Because I fucking had to clean up my place just a little bit, take a quick shower, and like, get ready. So she comes over. That's all cool. We're having drinks. And so now it's like 4 in the morning. And she says to me, she looks at me straight up and she's like, do you want to go to bed? I'm like, okay, sure. So we go to my bedroom. She gets into the under the sheets, under the covers with her clothes on. So I'm like, okay. Which, by the way, guys, that's a sign that she doesn't want to have sex right away in that moment. So I was like, you know what? This is date number 2. It's cute, and I'm not gonna put any pressure on this, right? So we crawl into bed, and she completely turns her back over. I'm like, okay, it's kind of weird. All right, she's tired, whatever. So the morning comes, she rolls over, we see each other. Her face is like close to mine. I go in for a kiss because I hadn't kissed her yet. So I go in for the kiss, and she just kind of gives me a peck on the lips. Like, okay, it's kind of weird. So then another hour goes by, whatever, and we're talking, and then she tries to fall back asleep, and same with me, and we're cuddling, and she turns around again, and she's got her leg wrapped over mine, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, shit, man, this chick is hot. And again, her face is in front of me, peck on the lips. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we end up getting up. I make her some breakfast, and she goes home. And this did not sit well with me, man. This whole peck on the lips shit. So, date number 2. So I text her a couple, like the next day or whatever, and I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm just curious. I know it's a little random, but are you not into kissing? And she's like, yeah, but I just didn't want to turn you on. Okay, man, listen, this is the thing that I've learned. When a woman likes you and it's the first kiss or like the first couple kisses, if she likes you, it's not going to be just a peck on the lips. The only two exceptions. One, she's not into you, right? That's exception number 1. Number 2, it's she's in a rush, like you're saying goodbye, her Uber's just arrived, and you're like, right, good night, have a good night, that kind of situation. But in general, she's not into you if it's just a peck on the lips and there's no reason to just like leave quickly. I have had so many situations where there's never been a problem with kissing this woman passionately on the lips when they're into me. It's like, so I said to her, I said, look, I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I feel like you're not really into me. And so then she started getting all defensive and everything else, and that was the end of that. The other situation that I'm going to talk about is this was date number 2, and again, second date, and man, she was hot. She was a petite little thing. She was in great shape. I was like, damn, super hot. So date number 2, she says to me, she's like, because I find out she loves Game of Thrones. So she's seen all the Game of Thrones. She's seen House of Dragon, all that. And so she's like, well, I have an idea for our second date. And I'm like, okay. She's like, why don't we have a Game of Thrones marathon? I'm like, all right. But again, guys, if you haven't seen my video on the things to do when she's coming over to your place, the number 1 thing is don't have expectations. Even though I know in the back of your mind you're thinking it might get some box. Yes, that might be a possibility, but don't expect it. So she comes over, cute. She's wearing this cute little gym kind of outfit. And I'm like, God, bloody hell. And we're sitting on the couch. And she came over at like noon, right? So this is going to be an all-day thing, an evening thing, because she wanted to stay for dinner too. So I'm like, fantastic. So she's on the couch. I give her a blanket, which, by the way, always have a blanket available at your place near the couch because women love the blankets. So she curls up with the blanket. And she said, do you want to cuddle with me? I'm like, all right. And she's just, God, she was fucking, this is too bad. It was really unfortunate. Teesh. Anyways, so we cuddle in the blankets, and she's like rubbing my arm. She's getting kind of physical with me. And I'm like, okay, great sign, great sign. I talked many times in my videos about when a woman starts touching you on the first date, second date, that's a fantastic sign that she's into you, right? So a couple hours go by, and she's like, oh, you don't seem very comfortable, just the way I was sitting, because I have an L-shaped couch. So she was lying down on the longer part, and I was kind of sitting on the shorter part, and we're lying beside her kind of. She's like, do you want to come over on the other side? I'm like, okay. right. So I go over the other side, and then she turns, she's facing me now, and the moment it was perfect. I go in for the kiss, right? Peck on the lips. I'm like, oh, fucking damn it. Ugh. So I'm like, okay, maybe. Oh, she had a lip ring. So I thought maybe she's sensitive with the lip ring or something. So then a few hours later, same thing. I go in for the kiss. Or actually several hours later, this is now getting into the evening. I go in for another kiss, same situation. The moment was right, peck on the lips. So I just point blank asked her right there. I said, hey, are you okay? And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, this is the second time I've tried to kiss you, and you just don't seem to be into it. And so how I'm perceiving it is that you're just not into me. And so she's like, oh no, it's not that. It's just, I just don't want to have sex. I'm like, well, have I given you any indication that I want to have sex with you? And she's like, well, no, I just want to be able to kiss you freely, but without that expectation. I'm like, well, I'm confused. I haven't given you that. And so, bottom line is, um, she ultimately was not into me. I found out a few days later, and that's okay. But the reason why I did this video, man, is to tell you that the kissing part, and I will get to number two and number three, the kissing part is so important. If she just gives you a peck on the lips, that that's a red flag, man, unless she's like leaving for her Uber or something. So just be very aware of that. So, number two, I did a video on Pillow Princess. And a pillow princess is essentially number two, where she wants to be pleasured and she won't pleasure you back. There's nothing more fucking humiliating than you've put in all the work, you get her off, and then now it's your turn and she wants to just roll over and fall asleep, or she doesn't want to help you out. Like, this has happened to me, man. This has happened to me. And one time I kicked this chick out of my hotel room because she did that shit. And so I don't tolerate that. I don't get aggressive, but I speak to them about it first and say, hey, look, you know, I need 5 minutes. Can you help me out? And if they give me some attitude, I say, well, maybe I should call you an Uber home, or I kick their ass out. Another one example is I said, look, obviously the vibe is off now, and maybe I should get you an Uber home. More times than not, when I say that, they turn around and they please me. But I will not date pillow princesses, and that's number two, that men get humiliated and they fucking tolerate that shit, where they please her and yet she doesn't want to please them back. Like, oh, hell no. So number three, number three, man, and I'm gonna give you a quick story on this. I know this video is getting a little long, but it's okay. I gotta share these things with you. Number three is she doesn't text you back in a reasonable amount of time. I'm talking 24 hours, or her texts are very short. So check this out. I met a 9 the other day. It was a Valentine's party in my building, and I see the most beautiful chick in the fucking party, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna test my game. I'm going after the best looking one in this place. And by the way, I encourage you guys to do that. Even if you're not going up to them to ask them out on a date, go up to them and start talking to them. Get used to talking to beautiful women. That's the only way you're going to get good and date higher quality women, like sevens, eights, nines, right? I don't give any woman a 10. So 9 is like the best. Like, God, man, she was beautiful, beautiful. So I make my way over there and I make some random comment about the tacos, because they were serving tacos. And I'm like, hey, did you get any food? I haven't seen you eat yet. You're going to starve because all food's going to be gone, something like that. She laughed. So then, I'm just kind of playing it cool. I didn't ask her out right away, and she stuck around. She stuck around the whole damn night until the end. And there was only like 3 or 4 of us left in the building up here, right, in this lounge place. And if you haven't seen this lounge, check out my video, my apartment tour. So she sticks around. We're having some drinks. And then I ask her, I'm like, hey, did you drive here? And she said, oh, no, I didn't drive because I'm drinking. I said, well, how are you getting home? She's like, oh, I'm just going to walk home. And I said, oh, well, I'm not going to allow you to walk home after midnight. I'll walk you home if you're comfortable with that. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet. Sure. Okay. So I have not asked her out yet, right? I walk her home. I'll get to the moral of the story. I walk her home. And I didn't even ask her number or anything. I said, well, it's great meeting you. And I give her a hug. And then she asked my number. And then she asked for my socials, so my Instagram. We make the exchange. The next day, I'm like, you know what? I'll send her a message. I'll say, hey, it was great to meet you. And I'm glad you got home safe, something like that. She messages me back. And then we start texting a little bit. And I start asking her a couple questions about her. I don't waste too much time, man. With I want to know what the woman's intention is for a date, so I will come straight out and ask them out pretty quickly. Like that same day we're texting, I'm asking them out. So that's what I did. So she's fucking 9, right? Oh my god, like very Russian looking, sexy. 22. So what I do is I said, hey, any big plans coming up this weekend? And she said, no, not really. And then that's when I popped the question. I said, look, if you're interested, I'd like to take you out on a cute date on Friday and we grab some food and some drinks, something like that. So she says, oh, that would be amazing. I love it. And so, right. So, okay, now I'm getting into the logistics of what time and where we're going. So I'm like, look, I'd like to take you to this place. Have you been? She's like, no, I haven't been there. That place looks amazing. And I said, okay, well, does does Friday at 7 o'clock work for you? And she says, uh, nothing. Crickets. That's the problem. Fuck. 2 days have gone by now. 3 days. Nothing. So this is what I mean, man. This is the number 3 thing, that she doesn't respond to your text. She said she was interested, but clearly she's not. And I just accept it. I'm like, okay, this sucks. She was a 9, super hot, but I want somebody who has genuine desire for me. I will go out with a 6. I'll go out with a 7. They don't have to be 8s and 9s. I don't want you to get this impression when I do these videos that all these chicks I go out with are like 8s and 9s. No, no, no. I'll go out with the 6s too and the 7s. Most importantly for me is I want to make sure they're into me. And like, as attractive as you might think I am and how good a shape I am, there's women that just are not into me, right? That's just the way it is. So that's why I'm trying to encourage you guys not to humiliate yourselves. So I'm not going to go and chase her. I might send her one text next week, just check in, because I don't want to just have that die. But if she doesn't respond to my next text, it's over. So listen, man, thanks for staying this long. I know this was a long, drawn out video, but I wanted to get all my points across. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.